The drivers are walking away. Thankfully, the cars are being pulled by as mangled matches here. Rick Wilson stands beside us here. Rick, first of all, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, but the food line dinner bells and bills tore pretty bad. You know, it just got blocked. You know, some cars up front got the beating and bang, or somebody hit somebody and got them sideways. And the time I got there and tried to get woed up, it was completely blocked, and then people from behind running into you. So it was a big mess, but I think everybody's okay. So that's a wonder right there.
Hut Strickland, your car took a heck of a lick. It was almost cut in half down there.
Well, you know, it's one of them deals here. The racetrack got blocked in front of you. You know, it's just no place to go. You know, we feel like we had a good shot in Ray Best's Buick, and just, you know, as it turned out, it wasn't our day.
Daytona 500 winner Derek Cope, you had great hopes for another repeat here today, but it's over.
Well, it is over. You know, unfortunately, we had the Pure Chevrolet running exceptionally well in the draft, and I was hanging right there behind Harry, and going down the back straightaway, we had a couple people hung out to dry, and, you know, somebody got into me, Sachs, I don't know if he got pushed up into me or what, going in turn 3, and then I said, hey, you know, just calm down, you guys. I moved up on the racetrack, coming off 4, I got hit again, and then we got squared away, and I thought everything was going to be all right. And all of a sudden, I saw somebody get turned sideways. I thought it was the King. And next thing I know, they put me in the fence, and I tried to keep the Pure Leather Chevrolet against the wall, not to hurt nobody else. And I saw everybody else get in trouble.
Well, Derek Cope's out of it. Ernie Irvin has walked by, as has Morgan Shepherd. Let's check and see how the pole sitter's car at Greg Sachs is doing up where John Kernan is. John?
I'm with Gary Dehart, crew chief on Greg Sachs' car, and it's looking pretty bad right now from what Greg said on the radio.
Yeah, he said they had to put it on a hook and bring it in. It's probably tore up pretty bad. What we saw right here, I could only see sheet metal damage, but he said the car is pretty messed up.
We'll bring it in to try and get it back out.
We're going to bring it in and look at it and see what it looks like. Yeah, if we can get back out, we'll get back out for our sponsor. Greg's okay. He's walking back up the track, so he's okay.
I know you had a lot of high hopes today. A very disappointing way to finish it, especially this early in the race.
Yeah, we've had some good luck this week. We ran good, and they say that's the way it goes. When you let the piles up on you, it get you once in a while. So we'll be back. Maybe we'll get to go to Pocono and run good up there.
Thank you, Gary. I know a lot of people expected Greg Sachs to run away with the race, but unfortunately for the Ultra Slim Fast team, Bob, they're going to have to spend some time behind the wall and will not be a factor.
Well, a lot of drivers and fans are disappointed. There you can see Buddy Baker and Ernie Irvin and Jeff Bodine, and there is the King. And we talked about how this probably was his best chance of winning in a long, long time. But you can see that the car is badly damaged, and King Richard Petty is riding back to his pit area. Now let's take a look at the top 20 as they cross the line after 2 laps, and the red flag came out. Dale Earnhardt, the leader, followed by Bill Elliott, Ken Schrader, Kyle Petty, and Alan Kulwicki. Running in 6th is Harry Gant, then Sterling Marlin, Davey Allison, Bobby Hillen, and Dale Jarrett. In 11th through 15th, Jimmy Means, Ricky Rudd, Jimmy Horton, Jimmy Spencer, and Butch Miller. And then 16 through 20, Mark Martin, Phil Duffy, Terry Labonte, Phil Barkdahl, and Dave Marcus. The starting line and turn number 1. There is Michael Waltrip, let's go to John Kernan.
Normally they would be working on the car, but because it's red flag, they can't work on it, so you just got to sit here and think about what happened. It looks like a wild ride for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, that trial was treacherous when you put that many cars that close together, and one of them messed up front, and we were a victim of circumstances. But you know, our car hasn't hurt it that bad. I didn't hit anything in the front with my Country Time Maxwell House Pontiac. Just kind of sliding through the grass, and when I got going in the right direction, I knew my back was messed up. So we're going to fix it. We'll be in good shape. We should be one of the best running wounded there is out there. So I'm looking forward to get back out there. I can accept this very well. My brother's in the hospital, and you know, he's alive and well, and got a lot of recovery to go through. But I'm not hurt, so we can fix the car and keep digging.
Well, you've heard of joining the walking wounded. Michael Waltrip wants to rejoin the running wounded. Now let's go down pit road to Jerry Punch, who's with Jeff Bodine and Greg Sachs.
Well, John Bodine and Sachs are with me. We might mention that A.J. Foyt and Charlie Glotzback have both walked away from their damaged cars and seem to be okay. First, Jeffrey had high hopes today. Former Daytona 500 winner. Looks like the Budweiser Ford was really hauling early in practice and yesterday, but it's over.
Well, you know, just a victim. You know, before I go any farther, I want to say I'm looking at Darrell Waltrip's crew. I want to say hi to Darrell and wish him a speedy recovery. He had a bad accident yesterday and didn't start this race out too good either. Just a situation. Everyone's racing, and with, you know, I hate to say it again, restrictor plates. We can't get away from each other. You get side by side, and you're glued to that person. It's really hard to get away, and 3 cars came down through the tri-oval, and there's enough room to get around here 3 wide, and at the speeds we're going especially, and They just got together, and the guy on the outside got crowded into the wall, and nothing he could do. It just, you know, maybe Greg was in the middle. Maybe he can give you a little more insight of what happened, but I was a victim, and it's a shame. There's 20 cars sitting out here on the racetrack right now. That means there's 20 in here being worked on. We're going to go work on our Budweiser Ford, try to get it back out there, get some more points. You know, what can you say? It's racing, but you hate to see it this way. First lap of a 400-mile race. Come on, we got to go farther than this.
We'll let you go, Jeff, and get working on the car. Thanks for stopping by. It was a Greg Sachs sandwich in that first lap. Greg, what happened? On the very start of the race, you were able to, you got passed by Earnhardt.
Well, yeah, I didn't have a real good start, and Dale got underneath me, you know, and that's really where things kind of started, you know. Then coming up 2, Richard went to the inside, and, well, we were 3 wide going into turn 3. I don't know if Richard knew that Derek was on the outside or not, but we went into turn 3 wide, and we're coming all the way around the turn, and, you know, I was in the middle there, and Derek was out there. We touched a little bit. Richard come up, and coming off of turn 4 was the same way, 3 wide, and I don't know, there was plenty of room. I don't know why we couldn't keep going. If Richard got a little loose coming through the trial or whatnot, I don't really know, but before you know it, we got to turn around, and Derek was in the wall, and the whole melee started. It's just a darn shame, you know, that early in the race. Ultra Slim Fast team was really looking for great things today. We felt like we could bring this thing home. You know, we've had the best car in practice, and time trials, you know, kind of proved that, and we really thought we'd get the job done today. It just didn't turn out that way.
Greg Sachs, who had a great run here back in February in the Clash, and of course at Talladega. Greg, you can rebuild race cars, you can't rebuild drivers, and thankfully the drivers are okay. Bob?
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. And there are several cars in the pit area, including Dick Trickle, whose Trop Arctic Pontiac was involved somewhat in the crash. And we have, again, a replay from his in-car camera. This is how it looked to Dick Trickle.
Going again. He couldn't see much through there, and he couldn't do a whole lot either.
Now let's take a look from Chad Little's car.
Well, you can see him turning that steering wheel, trying to get it headed in the direction he wants it to go, but it's going to go where it wants to go.
Now let's go inside Buddy Baker's car.
Man, that hurts sitting here.
Buddy hit 3 or 4 cars, didn't he?
You know, and Jeff Bodine said something about the cars not being able to get away from each other. And when we look from Buddy Baker's in-car camera, we can see what he was talking about. Just the cars are 2, 3 abreast. And folks, they are running 195 miles an hour, probably at that point of the racetrack. 195. It looks like 60 or 70. But believe me, you can look at the damage on the race cars and realize that there is some speed. We're talking 190 miles per hour, and they're just side by side, bumper to bumper, and not able to get away from each other.
Unbelievable. Those of you who have seen the movie Days of Thunder know that Cole Trickle had to drive through a melee with his vision blurred and the smoke obscuring his vision, and that's exactly what happens in a crash like that, as you could see from our 3 in-car cameras as they tried to pick their way through that multi-car tangle in the tri-oval between the start-finish line and turn number 1. Back at Daytona with more after this. The Budweiser car badly damaged. Now, don't forget, tomorrow there'll be more auto racing. The CART Budweiser Cleveland Grand Prix. That's at 2 o'clock Eastern Time live here on ESPN. And because of some incidents yesterday, they're going to change the racetrack there for tomorrow's race. So you'll want to be tuned at 2 o'clock Eastern tomorrow afternoon for the CART race from Cleveland, Ohio. Let's go to John Kernan, who's with Richard Petty.
Well, Richard, we've already heard from some of the other guys. What's your version of what happened out there?
Well, I don't know. All I know is I was running around there in the inside groove going through the dog leg, and all of a sudden somebody hit me on the right rear and spun me back across in front of everybody, and it, you know, up against the wall on the left side, and it just ground itself out down the straightaway. Then, you know, then they went every which way.